Aloha and welcome to What's Up at the Capitol. Ward's What's Up at the Capitol, that is. And here we are in February. The legislature is just taking off. The train is just leaving the station. And it's a chance to give you an update on what's going on. This week, a couple of bills came through that you should know about. One is called the Sanctuary State, which means sanctuary city in the whole of the state of Hawaii. It's House Bill 1994, in case you wanted to look that up on the Hawaii State Capitol website. But essentially, it's a bill which we tried to pass last year, and we realized it was going to be so negative for the city and county, particularly the mayor backed off when he realized that the federal transportation people could pull back the money from the rail. There was $1.5 billion, of which $750 million has not been paid yet. So we realized being a sanctuary city, you're basically going against the federal government, and you're kind of poking the administration in the eye. And do we need that? I don't think so, because we are now actually 25% dependent on the budget. But this is something that was on the House floor, and I want you to have a look, and then I'll come back and tell you one of the things that I feel about this.
Rise in opposition to the Sanctuary State Bill, 1994, with a few comments.
Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is as myopic as it is partisan, political, and polemical. But who doesn't like immigration? Who doesn't like immigrants? My wife is from Malaysia. My daughter's from China. The key, Mr. Speaker, is that they're all legal. This bill legitimizes, protects, and otherwise disguises illegal immigration, therefore promoting it. The territory that we are entering on calls all of us into question. Every 2 years we raise our hands to protect, obey, and otherwise enforce the U.S. Constitution and the state constitution. This bill is borderline treasonous. It pushes us to say that, hey, if you at the federal level want to do something, we are going to exempt ourselves from the U.S. Constitution. Mr. Speaker, that's a dangerous proposition. I would also say how this is a bill that is going to hurt us rather than help us, even though it's supposedly going to hurt us.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Please state your point.
Violation of Rule 27. Please strike treasonous as it goes to the intent.
Representative Ward.
I said it was borderline. It wasn't it. It was borderline, which is a lack of genuine affection for your country and for its laws. Mr. Speaker, let me proceed here. We're getting on a territory that's going to hurt us more than it's going to help us. Not because I'm a member of the Finance Committee, but everybody here knows that our budget is federally funded up to the point of 25% and growing. Mr. Speaker, we have already not endeared ourselves to the federal government, and to do something like this is going to make us even all the more marginal. I'm not going to note how many times our federal congressional delegation has poked their fingers into the president's eye, but this is going to be a bigger one than even in the past. This is going to hurt us fiscally, financially, and on the margins of being a full participant in the federal government and all the things that we do. Can you imagine if PACOM says, well, hi, EMA, we're not going to help you because you guys have got it all on your own. We're not going to give you federal assistance because of this disaster on January 13th, where you didn't know what you were doing when you created trauma for 1.4 million people and our visitors. The feds are going to pull us out of this. Should we say, well, if the feds do a reciprocal, it's okay? No, Mr. Speaker, but we're tempting the hand of that. You know, what goes around comes around, what comes around goes around. So we're playing with fire in the same way that many of us would not wish that the feds would pull back in so many areas, not just the defense of the country, but our human services, our transportation, the majority of our funding. And you know, the idiosyncrasies of some personalities in Washington can earmark stuff and take money away. So why do we want to do this? We don't have an immigration problem per se. Is this a politically motivated thing, like somebody sitting upstairs on the 5th floor did a ban on travel so he could get promotions? Are we trying to get
Mr.
promoted
Speaker,
on
point
this
of
floor
order.
here?
Please state your
I didn't
point.
mention any names.
Violation of Rule 27, please strike all the comments about the governors and the fifth floor office. Thank you.
But, Mr. Chair, I would challenge if this is not politically motivated, what is motivating it? Because it's not
Recess,
a benefit
Mr.
to the
Speaker.
state. The point is, this is not a
Short
benefit
recess.
to the state of Hawaii.
Also come to order, Representative Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the bottom line is the costs outweigh the benefits. If there's any benefits beyond political, I need to know them, and that is not to demean anything or anybody. But other than this, if there's a problem where we have huge immigrants, you know, if we want to talk about immigrants who really need help, what about the Indonesians down at the harbor? They're captive right on our shores. What have we done for them? We already have a sanctuary state for the homeless. We have the highest homeless in the state of, in the whole nation. State of Hawaii has the highest homeless. What kind of sanctuary are we giving the homeless? So where are the priorities here? And also I should note that this morning we passed the bill 2091, which is for a Homeland Security Fusion Center, which states, by continually staffing itself to monitor all crimes, hazards, and shall be the focus for sharing local, national, international information. So we've already got a bill that says the national level intelligence community we are going to cooperate with based
Speaker,
upon
point
the
of
bill
order.
we passed this morning.
Representative.
It's not relevant,
Preston.
sir.
Ask that he speaks to the measure at hand, which hasn't even been done yet.
Representative Ward, please confine your remarks to the
I'm sorry,
bill
it's
before
relevant
us.
to me when we pass a bill that's contrary to what we are passing now. The bottom line, Mr. Speaker, this bill is going to hurt us more than it's going to help us. It causes our loyalty, which is a virtue of this state, to be put aside, and it's got a kapakahi emphasis on more for illegitimate migration rather than legal migration, which is what this country is founded on and is all about, because we are all immigrants. Thank you.
So you saw what took place on the floor of the House, but let me put it in very simple terms. Cost-benefit analysis is something that's very handy to use in the state of Hawaii. When a bill or a piece of legislature costs you more than it's going to make benefits, you say, hey, let's back off. Let's hold our breath on this one for a while and see what happens. If we look at what it's going to cost us to be a sanctuary state, it's really not worthwhile. And not only from a financial point of view, because we're 25% of our federal budget, of our budget out of federal funds, it's because this is going to focus a spotlight on those who are illegal. If we have 21,000 illegal immigrants here, that's going to focus the light on them, and they're going to be in more trouble rather than we just go about what we are doing now. The point is, this is a cost that the state cannot afford. It's more of a political statement, quite frankly, than anything else, and I think it's something that we can do without. And if you see the way that the other states are doing that, it's really more of a statement than it is actually a substantive development. So from a cost-benefit analysis, I think we're saving you taxpayers money by just saying, okay, sanctuary state, let's just put that aside. Let's get on with helping other people in other ways that we have homeless populations that we haven't given sanctuary to. We have thousands of fishermen on the shores of our cities, and we have not been able to help them. So sanctuary states, thank you, but not now. Aloha.